Well, 100%. I would go check this out. This is at Coolidge. I think it's probably a couple of the other theaters there, but that's where I saw it. So, yeah, this is a great film.
Awesome, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Well, along that same vein, I got to check out The Little Hours, independent movie starring Dave Franco. Dave Franco, brother of James Franco. He'll never really live that down, but no, he's coming into his own. Really, you've been checking out Dave Franco there. He's got a square head, man.
Yeah, he's a little bony facial structure too.
Well, also starring Kate McCucci did great stuff, but my personal favorite is Aubrey Plaza. Just because I've seen her play completely straight characters, and I've seen her play completely nuts characters,
ridiculous characters. Yeah, she has. And
this was a little bit of both. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. The Little Hours is a story, and why it's in a similar vein is because it's the story of a young man who was a servant for a wealthy landowner / soldier who was having an affair with the man's wife. The man finds out, played by Ron Swanson himself.
I want to see this so badly.
I just saw a movie with...
I didn't have any time last week.
I just saw a film with him in it, and he's so good.
Ron Swanson?
Yeah. The actor, obviously.
Wait, he's not really Ron Swanson?
His mustache is Ron.
His mustache is Ron Swanson. Married to... oh, come on. I just had it. Karen from Will and Grace.
Yes, because that's your...
She's not really Karen?
She's not... Okay, we're going to stick to the movie at hand here. The Little Hours is a story about he's seeking refuge, and he's seeking refuge, and he finds it in this local convent, where the priest, he makes friends with him and hides him as long as he doesn't, well, actually to protect him from the nuns by saying he's a deaf mute, to keep him out of trouble, to keep them interacting with him too much. Naturally, things go awry when these nuns are also, they are people with hormones, they're sick of their work, they need some excitement, and they're also horrible, horrible bees to the current helper who just up and quits.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really a sex comedy. There's a lot of sex comedy elements. It's not really a horror comedy, even though a few of those do pop up too. Mm-hmm. It's a real hodgepodge of different story types.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? That sounds like that could be not work at all when you're kind of jumping around like that.
In most cases, that's a bad thing, but at some point you stop taking the story seriously because it's very loose. They introduce several different points that seem like they're going to be the main focus of the movie. One of the nuns is there because her father is working on a dowry, to benefit the family with wealthy, to marry his daughter off.
So he's hiding her in a convent until that time?
He's not hiding her in a convent. That's more like the storage area. That's like the staging area to get her
in a
ready.
Place where she's not going to, be deflowered?
Pretty much, yeah. Just keep her pure so they get more money for her. And it's like a really weird standpoint.
So awful.
It is, but it seems like that's going to be the main focus. Yeah. Like, how does she cope? Is she going to be the main protagonist? It's just kind of one of those things that they throw in. Another storyline is two of the nuns have this like love-hate relationship with each other and with the rest of the convent and with women in general. Mm-hmm. And that seems like something that could be a movie in its own. And it's just kind of like a secondary plot. Everything is a secondary plot, including the one that brought this young man to this convent in the first place. It presents all different types of nun stereotypes and priest stereotypes and stuff.
A more serious sister act? Is
that what we've got? Sister Act had a very serious point.
Plug him up.
Oh, man. No, this is a comedy through and through. It had several serious points. I don't want to seem like I'm focusing too much on those because it really was all over the place. But once you let go of that, I'm expecting a serious storyline to follow a main track and come to a logical conclusion because, I mean, I'll be honest with you, this is just an excuse to see these comedians go nuts.
Yeah.
And not Will Ferrell. God dang it. I know what's being names today. I know his name.
Dr. Brule, Steve Brule.
Thank you. Yes.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. I love his work. I forgot his name. I should be ashamed of myself. He plays
Sweetberry Wine.
For real.
We all have our favorite Steve Brule moments, apparently.
Man, he plays the main priest, and he does a great job and a very understated performance. Both he and Molly Shannon this give very understated performances. Especially
he was a priest in another movie.
I just finally saw Kong Skull Island, and John C. Reilly wrecked me in it.
He was pretty good in that. We reviewed that sucker, and once we got past Sam Jackson calling Kong, John C. Reilly's doing great work. Well, has always done great work, in my opinion, and is continuing to do so.
Sure,
yeah, he was in Chicago. It was crazy good. I never expected him to be that great in a musical.
He was also in that Ridiculous Circus movie where vampires and
Don't talk to me about Cirque du Freak like it's not one of the greatest
was an
movies ever
awful-
made,
how
based on one
dare
of my
you.
favorite
He was
children's
the high
book
point of
series.
a very low movie.
Salma Hayek is in that movie.
Oh, stop it.
He was in the Thinner in Line.
All right.
actually.
Well, just to
That's
bring
right.
it back
Sorry.
to the Little Hours, you see Kate McCucci's boobs, if that means anything anymore.
Sold.
It's
Yeah.
all. Well, no, it's just fun. She's somebody who's known as being just like a really fun, funky, quirky comedian, and she got really into this performance. You know, a lot of people bared their souls as well as various parts of their bodies, and it was interesting throughout. I won't say it was great. I won't say it was bad. It was just really interesting and really fun. There was nothing in this.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with, I guess, watching comedians, try to be funny in movies. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be any more than that,
No,
So
I
if
appreciate
you
it.
like these actors and these people in this film, sometimes it's good to just go and just watch them do a throwaway movie.
Yeah, a lot of
Right.
wordplay. Herb would love it because I know he's really.
He is a wordsmith.
Totally. It's called The Little Hours, starring Dave Franco, starring. Oh, I didn't even mention Aubrey Plaza. My bad.
Yes, you did.
Well, I
You
mean,
did.
I mentioned her,
Sorry.
but her performance was one of my favorites. I love her work. This was her in a combination of, I'll say, her characters from Legion
And Dirty Grandpa.
and
Oh God.
and Dirty Grandpa.
And Dirty
Yeah,
Grandpa. Oh.
yeah, totally. Well, she's like just this crazy. If you've ever been to Catholic school and had that nun that was horrible for no reason, but you just knew, like, once that habit comes off, she is just.
That's it. Yeah.
That was
Really
Aubrey
tapped
Plaza
into
in
something
this
there
movie.
with you, didn't it?
I went to Catholic school. I'm not gonna. Those rulers and
Those
meter sticks. Oh, anyways, hey, like I said, The Little Hours. If you can find it, it's an indie movie. It's not playing everywhere. It had a very limited release, and we were actually lucky to get it here in Boston in only a select few theaters. So if it's playing in your area, definitely check it out. It's probably going to be available for home viewing soon. So it's The Little Hours, starring Aubrey Plaza, Kate McCucci. The cast was loaded. Molly Shannon. Fred Armisen popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that
he
was
does
random.
that from time to time.
Yeah, but no, he's fun. He was, again, understated, but I loved it. Because Fred Armisen is a dude can do all ranges, and this was one of his solid performances.
Nice.
I really appreciated all the work the comedians did. This was an experimental type of movie. This was a risk for each of them performance-wise, so they all reached.
And you mentioned
and-
Nick Offerman.
And I mentioned Nick Offerman, yes,
Yeah,
totally. Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson, rocking the mustache, full force.
Of course.
And I would recommend this. I would recommend people check this out, just because it's a fun time.
Perfect. That's all it has to be, man.
Cool.
That's all it has to be.
All right, so we've just about run out of time. This has been the Geek Down here on